In this video, we will see the solution to the practice exercise Create a Door Schedule. This exercise requires a door schedule to be created for all of the doors in an existing project. The schedule needs to be grouped by project level and the formatting edited to include changing field titles, editing fonts, and applying striping and shading to improve the presentation of the schedule. Some of the data will need to be edited before it's finally placed onto a drawing sheet and its properties adjusted to fit the sheet. Let's start by opening the file Create Door Schedule. And this is the project that we will create the door schedule for. So from the View ribbon tab, under the Create panel, we'll choose Schedules and then Schedules and Quantities. From the categories, we'll scroll down and choose Doors. You can see the name is Door Schedule, so we'll choose OK to create that schedule. Now from the list of available fields, we'll start to add in the fields we need. So we'll start with the mark, and then we'll add the type mark. We'll choose the description and add this, and then we'll choose the width, followed by the height, followed by the thickness. Then we'll choose level and add this to the scheduled fields. Before changing the available fields drop down to From Room, where we'll add the From Room name, and then change it to To Room, and we'll add the To Room name. So we'll choose OK to create that schedule. So now we can see we have our schedule created, and we want to start organising the schedule. And we'll begin by choosing to edit the sorting and grouping. So first we'll sort by level, and then we'll check to apply a header and also have a blank line between the data. And then we'll sort by the mark, which means we'll have it grouped by level, but then each group sorted by the mark. We'll change to the Formatting tab, we'll select the level field, and we'll check so that this is a hidden field, as we're going to have it as a header for each group. We'll also choose the thickness field, and we'll come and edit the field formatting. And we'll uncheck Use Project Settings, and we'll check to suppress 0 feet. As this relates to the panel thickness, they're normally less than 1 foot thick, so therefore every thickness would have 0 feet at the front of it, so this will take that off the data. So we'll choose OK, and we can now see that we have our schedule grouped by the levels, so we can see the site, floor 1, floor 2, etc. Now organised by mark, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and ascending in numerical order. And also the thickness now just shows us 1 3/4 inch, ½ inch as the thickness for each door panel. So now we'll start to format the schedule, and we'll start by changing some of the column headers. So we'll change the mark to read Door Reference. We'll set the type mark to read Door Type. We'll change the thickness to be Panel Thickness. And then finally we'll take the name off of the From Room name and To Room name. So we'll select in and just delete these bits off. Next we'll group the dimensions together. So we'll select the panel thickness header here, and then holding the Shift key down on the keyboard we'll select the width header. That will select all 3 of those, and then from the Modify ribbon here we can choose to group those together. And then we can come and edit the group name, and we'll call this Dimensions. Now we'll come and choose to edit the appearance properties from the Properties palette. And we'll uncheck the grid lines, but we'll check to have an outline. We'll check to stripe the rows, and then we'll come and set the stripe colour. And we'll change this to be 220 on the red, 250 on green, and 255 on blue. And this will give us a light blue colour. So we'll choose OK. And now we'll change the title text to be our 1/4 inch Arial text. And then we'll choose OK once more. And we can see those stripes have been applied, and we have the larger text in the title here. Now we'll select all of the headers, so we'll just hold the mouse button down and drag across them all. And from the Modify ribbon, we'll go to the Shading option, and we'll set these to have the same shading as the stripes, so 220, 250 for the green, and 255 for blue. We'll reselect them. And now we'll come and edit the font from the Modify ribbon, and we'll check for this to be bold. And choose OK, and we can see that that's now shown in bold within our schedule. Looking down the schedule, we can see some of the doors don't have any description. And as we scroll down the schedule, sometimes it could be helpful to choose to freeze the header. That way we can always see the headers here as we're scrolling down. So we'll select one of these doors and we'll add in the description of single full light glazed panel. And once we finish entering this, we'll choose OK so that it's applied to all doors of this type. And now we can see that that's been applied to all of the type 03 doors. So now we're ready to place this view onto our drawing sheet. From the project browser, we'll open the view D100 door schedule. This is our blank drawing sheet for us to place our door schedule onto. So we'll select it in the project browser. And then we can drag it into the sheet view. And we'll place it so that the top of the schedule is near the top of the sheet. We may need to place this and then move it into position afterwards. So we need the top of our schedule to be near the top of the sheet and on the left hand side. We can see it's quite long. And this is partly because a lot of the data is split over 2 lines. So we'll select it and we'll start to adjust the column headings so that data gets read across just one line. We'll do the same with the room names. And we can see now that all of our data is across a single line, although there's just a little bit more to do down here. So let's reselect that, stretch it a little bit further. So having got it all onto single lines, we can see it still extends below the sheet here. So we'll reselect it. And in the middle of the schedule, we have the grip here to split the schedule table. So we'll choose this. And we can see that's now split into 2 columns. We've got a grip here to drag the bottom of the first column. So we'll drag this up so it doesn't split floors. So we can see that we've got floor 2 in its entirety on this column here. And then floor 3 starts at this column here. And that's our schedule, now formatted and positioned on our sheet, ready for printing. So that completes this exercise and ends this video. And to recap, in this video, we've created a door schedule for all of the doors in an existing project. We've grouped the schedule by level and formatted the schedule, including changing field titles, editing fonts, and applying striping and shading to improve the presentation. We've edited the schedule data before finally placing it onto a drawing sheet and adjusting its properties to fit the sheet.